Why don't you? I'm in a bad fucking mood. Why don't you take us in?
All right. Welcome to Comics in the Making. My name is Ryan Holgerson. I'm the creator of Slackmatic, and I'm joined, as always, by Levi Erickson, the creator of The Big. Levi, where the fuck have you been?
uh, I was at my dad's wedding.
Yeah,
Yep, he got remarried, and it's awesome. But
nice.
reuniting with my siblings that live all across the country, and meeting my new siblings and new family, and in my hometown of Hot Springs, Arkansas, and kind of reconnecting there a little bit. It was it was a great time, but it took me out of the loop, which took us out of the loop. So let's loop it up tonight.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it. It'll be all right. We're sorry. We're sorry.
I know, like everyone's like forgetting about us. They're like, oh man,
I
you
forgot about me too. The last 2 weeks, I just had no idea who I was. It's been crazy.
no, you've had a lot of reminders, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. For sure. Big news on the I don't know. That's it. It's not under the Slackmatic umbrella, or is
I
it?
mean, I don't know. It's so weird. When I think about my body of work, it's all connected, really. Um, so when I look at from the original Slackmatic all the way up to the stories I'm doing now and Page of Things, you can look at it. If you're a longtime reader of mine, you can look at stuff and see all the connections.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
but
we've opened the can already, so let's just go into that.
yeah,
What's your
so
big announcement? What you got?
yeah,
What you got?
so I've got the Book of Things, which I just released this week on Amazon. Um, got my I ordered a small amount. I'm going to be stocking up on these puppies for our live events and stuff like that when we get to them. But this went live on Monday. Monday I announced it. It actually went live last week, but I was too nervous and I wanted to get the books in hand so I could look at them. Um, I had gotten a pre-press or whatever version, which I've got right here, which I'm glad I got because there was a page in there I did of extras, and it was a digital painting that I did, and it just came out so dark,
Mm.
and you could barely tell what was going on. And I was like, you know what? I'm not putting this in the book. But I had plenty of stuff that I could grab from. So I went and I grabbed something else, uh, put it in there, something that was like a lot brighter. Um, and then when I got it and I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? I probably need to add this. I probably need to do a little something with this. So if you're looking at printing a book, definitely get that proof copy.
Yeah,
Um, so you can really look at it, give it some time. I know you're always excited. You want to like jump right into it and hit publish and get those books sent to you and get people ordering them.
yeah.
Um, but I'm really glad that I got that proof copy so I could mess around with it a little bit.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, it's been a busy week. Uh, put it up on Monday. I think by Monday afternoon, I got a message from someone that said, "You're like number one in the art of comics and manga and Amazon." And my
Sick.
response was, "The bar for that must be incredibly low." Which which just so you know, I'm real excited about hitting that mark, but the bar was
Of course.
incredibly low. So um uh Ryan's not quitting his job anytime soon, trust me. But
And and comics in the making didn't come in and scoop up 10,000 copies or anything, to
no,
juice those
no.
numbers.
Yeah, there was no shenanigans to get us on the New York Best Times list or anything. Um, so but it was still real exciting to see that excitement from people. I was real nervous Um, because my page of things, which I guess I can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess I should, huh? It's a unique project. So pretty much every page of things is just that. It's a page of things, and it looks like a comic page, and it has 4 to 5 panels on it, but every panel is completely independent from the other one, and so that's what it becomes. It just becomes a page of things. um
Yeah.
and I write a little bit about this in the book, but essentially I came to this project because in 2020 I really wanted to put out a regular series. But I didn't have writer's block, I had writer's flood, and it was actually paralyzing me because I didn't know what direction to go in. And the good thing was I took some of that flood and I poured it into this page of things project, which I had done a few of them like in a sketchbook like years before that,
Yeah.
and I don't think I'd really shown anybody. I think I messed around with it a little bit on my iPad at one point. Um, but it was never a regular thing. And when I did it this time, for whatever reason, it just clicked.
Nice.
And you know, the first one I launched, it was black and white. It looked a little different. I totally George Lucas that for the book. So the first one's completely redone. But I did put the original black and white one in the extras. So you're getting
Oh,
both.
cool.
So you get a brand new first one and you get the original.
What's the
Uh
what's the page count of this?
it
How many
is
things are in this book?
well, how many, you know what? Hang on, because I wrote an ad. I did an ad, and this is how dedicated I am, sir. I went through I went through and I counted every fucking thing. And so there are 152 pages, and that is 618 things.
Nice.
Um, so in the ad, I write one book, 2 never released pages, 3 years in the making, 6 pages of extras, 152 pages, 618 things. Uh,
Awesome.
it's kind of my play on the fucking Wetworks
Yep.
ad,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
I remember.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I knew you would. I knew you would.
I remember all. I remember all that
Yeah.
first gen image shit.
Yeah.
You know.
But I was kind of, the project's always had its fans. Um, but it is weird. There are people that when they see it for the first time, I get this comment all the time, what the fuck is this? Or like, my favorite comment is, are you just playing around? Which that's what I do with my comics too. uh so I always think it's funny when I get something like that. Are you just playing around? Like, oh yeah, no, this is my fun work. My other one's much more serious. um so but what I love about this, even though it's not like narrative storytelling, I the stories are still all in those things.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of comments from people about specific panels where they go, oh, I bet there's a story behind that panel, or I want to know what happens with this and stuff like that. Like, they want to know more.
Cool.
I have done a few comics where I kind of expand on some of the panels. um I've never actually wanted to do that on a huge scale, though, because to me, when you say I bet there's a story behind there, you've already kind of got that story in your head.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of
And
kind of
so I don't want to ruin it.
no, yeah, 100%. It goes back to like basic tropes about some of our favorite comic book characters.
Mm-hmm.
We always wanted to know more about them, their origins, but once we do, they're diminished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the example I use all the time is when I was a kid and I saw Star Wars A New Hope for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the magic for that, for me, was One, it was episode 4, and it was the first movie. And I remember my mom pointing that out to me, that this is episode 4.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind that there was stuff that had come before that that wasn't out there. So that my imagination filled in the blanks for that.
Yeah.
And when Obi-Wan's sitting in the, in his home with Luke, and he's talking about the Clone Wars
Yeah.
and his
That's
father, and in my head, now I couldn't really tell you what the Clone Wars was, but in my head I knew what the Clone Wars were. And
yeah.
yet it wasn't that movie. when the movies finally came out, although I've grown to appreciate them, it really kind of destroyed that imagination that I had for those movies. So that's kind of part of the inspiration for me for Page of Things, is trying to actually keep that imagination alive in people. That's my hope. That's like my grand hope with this project, is that, and I've told people, like, write stories about them, do whatever you want. Like, I want people to go, oh, this is an interesting panel, I wonder what happens. Well, go, oh my god, go write a short story about it, and print it up or put it on the internet and let me know about it. I know people that use them for like writing prompts, for RPG stuff. Like, they're, it's great for, like, coming up with settings for RPGs or magical items, and or monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, like, if Scott McCloud got a hold of a copy, what he'd make of it.
So, well, so, and I wanted to mention him too, because he's actually probably the first inspiration for this, because if you've read Understanding Comics, he has those panel to panel transitions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one is abstract to abstract.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what Page of Things is. And that is kind of what
sequiturs.
Yeah, no. And that's what inspired it originally, was, what if there was a whole comic of nothing but abstract to abstract? And that's what it is. But I can say without a doubt in my mind that, as far as artwork, there's nothing else that I've done that I'm more proud of than this book.
Very cool.
And we talk about looking back on our previous work and kind of cringing and stuff like that. And I still do that with my comics. And there's a few pages in here that I kind of go, oh man, I kind of rushed that or whatever. But because it's so art focused, I really spend a lot of time on every single panel, sometimes every page, and I've done a lot of different techniques with them. I still do a lot of my work in Clip Studio for these, but I work a lot in Procreate too, and sometimes I'll just do an original painting in Procreate, and then I just copy it and I throw it in a clip and I just turn it into a panel. So a lot of the panels that come from Page of Things were at one point just their own separate digital painting or drawing or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder, like, having such disconnected panels where you're not, laying out your page and designing your page in the sense of, here's my anchor, here's my payoff, here's my setup. Did you give more attention? Now, you already answered the question, but I was thinking, did you give more attention to each panel individually? Because as cartoonists, or comic book artists, or whatever you want to say, every page has something that we spent more time on than anything else.
Oh yeah.
And it may not be a main character, or it may not be, a big, like a cliffhanger shot, but any artist can say, yes, that's what took me the longest, either because I don't know how to draw that thing very well, and it took more research on my part, or I really wanted that to look right.
Right.
And even though maybe it wasn't quite as important as some other aspects, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, and I definitely have. I'm going to see if I can find a real good example. But I definitely have panels where I go, that's going to be the anchor, you know.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what though. What's funny about it is every time I do that, where I go, this is the panel, and then I'll do some little throw. Here we go. I'll do some little throwaway panel. The throwaway panel is the one that everybody jumps onto, and they go, "That one's funny." So I did this one. Oh, the book's so big, and here in this corner, I think it's one of the smallest panels I've ever done. But I did a little pixie skull.
Oh yeah.
This took me like no time at all. But there were a ton of people. They were like, "LOL, pixie skull." You know, they thought that was funny. They didn't look at me like riding on this fucking bike, flying over like a hill with a monster chase, and they went, "Oh, that pixie skull, that's hilarious." Um,
Do me a favor and send me if you can like get some kind of scan or like a higher res shot, you know, when you demonstrate that, I'll throw that up there.
oh yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah, no, I've got all of that. Easy.
Cool.
So, but yeah, no, it's been an exciting week.
Well, hell
And
yeah.
and really I'm excited for the future because for one, this is the first time I've done a book with a spine.
Nice. Nice milestone.
Yeah, and and the thing is, it's not like I haven't had material where I couldn't have done that before. I've just never done it. Um, but I mean, I've got to give, whenever anybody wants to say about Amazon, I've got to give props to their print on demand service.
Yep. So walk us through that real
Because
quick. Tell us more about like how that started, you know, why you went that direction and how that you know, translates to uh, you know, publishing and listing and sales.
so so the main reason I went through that, to be perfectly honest, was cost. Um, I did price it out at some other print on demand places that we've used before and that I like the quality. Um, and they were easily double the price.
Hmm.
Um, and for a book this size, uh, it's, you know, I'm paying seven, but I think like about 750 a copy. That's that's what I pay to get the book sent to me.
Mhm.
Um, and so you're saying, you know, on the other print on demand places, we're easily $13 to $14 a copy. And with those places, you're having to get a minimum of 25
Gotcha.
copies. And so you're talking, you know, upward hundreds of dollars. I'm not going to do the math.
Right.
Hundred, hundreds of dollars to get 25 books sent to you. Um, the other big bonus for me was with Amazon system, somebody orders it and it goes to them and I don't have to do a damn thing. I don't print it up, I don't send it to them, I don't pay for shipping, none of that. It's literally just passive income come coming into me. Now I'm not gonna lie, some of that makes me a little bit nervous, you know, just and I know they've got the customer service and stuff, but you know, they've got printers all over the world that print these to specific areas. So it makes me a little nervous that like I don't have control over every book and I'm looking at the books and making sure that they're okay. The ones I got, they look great. They were actually printed in Colombia. So just like, you know,
Down the
hour away
road.
from us. Yeah. Um, so uh but it is nice, you know. It does make me sad that I can't, like, normally when I sell on Etsy, I sign to the person, I draw on the copy and stuff like that. You know, I like giving people that personalized
Mhm.
little message and stuff like that. So it makes me a little sad that I can't do that. But I'm gonna have these in person. So if you see me at an event, um, for sure, if you ordered one online, come bring it to me and I'll draw the hell out of something inside of it and sign it to you and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then I'll have them for sale. The ones that I'm going to be ordering. So that was a big reason I went with them. The other reason was, I mean, we've had a bunch of friends who have gone through them, and so I've been seeing the quality of what they're producing for the printing and stuff. And
Yeah.
I had worked with a couple authors years ago who had gone through Amazon, and I got them, and I thought they were okay, but they had this real glossy cover, and I didn't like that. And there was just stuff that I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use them.
Hmm.
But then when they started introducing like the mat covers and stuff like that,
Right.
and like Herc uses a mat cover on his book. Joseph Morris, I have his book from Amazon, one of his books from Amazon. He did the mat cover, and I was like, wow, these are nice. Like I like the way they feel, and so it was making me feel a lot better about trying something with them.
Gotcha.
Um, but the process was pretty easy. I mean, if you've ever used a print on demand service, it's, you're getting a PDF together.
Hmm.
Um, you want to make sure that you're going through their stipulations and stuff like that, like as far as sizes and everything. Um, I'll tell you, I think I don't know if we put out the episode, but we talked about what would I do with an assistant or something like that. I want to change my answer. They would do they would do all of the file prep work, because
Yeah.
it was a solid week. I mean, I spent 2 days just getting everything put together. Um, and then it was like a day where I made that same PDF probably 10 times.
Mhm.
It at first Amazon wouldn't accept it, it wasn't going through, and then eventually I realized, oh, I was putting it in way too big. And
Right.
so I dropped it, and then it started working, but then it was like, hey, this has moved over a little bit. So then I had to go in there, and and every time I did that, I had to go in to Clip Studio, change that individual page, and then redo the PDF, which would take 10 minutes because it was saving a 152 page
Right.
PDF. I had to wait for that, and then wait for it to upload, and then wait for it to upload into their preview, and then make sure everything was okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that was, I'll tell you what, it when I uploaded it the first time and it didn't take it, it was soul crushing, because I had just spent that much time, and I was like, is this not gonna work? Did
Yep.
I just do all of this for nothing? Um, so it was kind of scary, but now I got it. Now I get it, and I'm like really confident about, doing more, which I'm
Nice.
going to. I'm already working on a new project, um, which is not Page of Things. Um, but so yeah, so that, I mean, so once you upload it and everything, it just has to get approved. And then, or well, I ordered a proof first. So before you even get it approved, you can order a proof. So I got that proof. We already kind of talked about that. And then once I got that, that's when I was like, okay, I did the final changes and stuff like that. And then it took about 3 days for approval. Um, which I don't even know if it was a full 3 days, but that's what they estimate. So it might have been a couple days. But then once I got that, I mean, I was, I hit the button, ordered my author copies,
Nice.
and as soon as I got them, I was, off to the races. So,
Awesome.
um, yeah, I recommend them, I'll tell you what, this book is one, it's huge, and that's the thing. It's 8.5 by 11. I wanted it to feel like an art book. I wanted people to be able to see all the pages and kind of like their full glory and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And on the Amazon website, they don't recommend their standard color for, like, if it's going to be like full pages of color. Um, well, I got news for you. These I completely broke the rules, and I mean, these are full pages of color. Um, and they came out fine.
Nice.
I'm sure they have a premium color,
Sure.
which I think is on like their glossier paper. Um, but I would have had to charge $35 for the book. Something like that. Which, I mean, I guess I could, what I'm sad about is I wish they had an option. They have an option where you can have a soft cover and a hardcover. Which I might set up a hardcover just for fun, just to have one for me and just put it up there if somebody wants it.
Yeah.
But they don't have an option like if you want standard or premium color. It's just I have to choose that, so I went with the cheaper option just to keep the price down. But I wish I could have made that choice to where someone could have said, you know what, I will spend another $10 to get it with the premium color, So that's the biggest downside I would say about Amazon with their print on demand is you don't have as much control over the sizes of your books. I mean, they still have plenty of sizes. I mean, they have comic book sizes, they have digest sizes, squares, they have a full gambit, but I'm super picky. And so there were some sizes that I really want that they don't offer.
Yeah.
And so that's the only downside. And then like paper, I mean, they've got white paper and they've got cream paper. That's it. They've got that or you can get the premium, they have soft cover and they have hard cover, they've got the glossy and they've got the matte. Like that's it. Which, to someone who's never done it before, maybe that sounds like a lot of options, but I mean, if you go through Comics Wellspring or Maxim or Mixum or whatever, you have plenty of options,
Oh yeah.
So you get a lot less than that. But, like I said, the trade-off is you put it up there. It's still a reason, I mean, I've got no problem paying $7.50 a book.
No, that's
to send it to me. Yeah. And I have Prime, so the shipping's not crazy either. So you can imagine, I got 7 books. I only printed 7 books for myself for right now. We don't really have a whole lot of stuff coming up, and so I was like, well, I can do it slowly and kind of build it up. So I wasn't just like throwing hundreds of dollars to get these books that were just going to sit there. And my shipping was $7.
That's awesome.
$7. I mean, that would have been like 50, minimum. Coming anywhere else.
I think print on demand's gotten so competitive. It's super duper accessible. And the thing that what sounds like, edges out the path you used is you get the benefit of the listing, and then you already explained how, you don't have to really do anything. You just tell people where to find it.
Yep.
And the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and that sounds attractive. That's very attractive,
And I mean, and the opportunity is there for bookstores to get it if they want it. It comes with a barcode. They'll assign you a barcode. I mean, you can get your own if you want, but I mean, I just had them throw a barcode on there.
You've sold out.
I sold out. Yeah. So
you're not indie anymore.
I know. I've got a barcode on a book.
I'm telling the Facebook group.
But no, so I mean it's really easy and it's nice. So I mean I'm definitely using them again. Now I wouldn't use them for a floppy. If I'm gonna do like a little zine or something like that, I'm not even gonna think about it. But if I'm gonna do a book with a spine, unless I'm confident enough that I'm gonna kickstart it and actually get it offset print and like really have a huge giant stock of it, I don't see any reason to not continue to use them,
Gotcha.
So, but and I've been looking at their black and white prices for their smaller books, which is what I normally would print, would be more of a manga sized book.
Yep.
They're dirt cheap. So, I mean, I mentioned a new project that I'm working on, and that's, I'm not going to say a lot about it, but I finished the writing, and and it's big enough to where it's going to have a spine. So, and
Nice.
it's going to be a, it's a comic or whatever. So it'll be, I'll, as of right now, the plan is to go through Amazon again for them.
Cool.
So
Very cool. Well,
yeah,
hell, man. Congratulations on that.
thank
And
you.
we will make sure that there is the links, the directions, how to get this in the description of this episode. But yeah, it's good to be back. We're, we I swore up and down that while I was on vacation, I'd be working on the channel. We have lots of episodes in the can, and we see how other people do it, and they pre-film all this stuff, and they're like, oh, all it takes is just editing and just dropping and dropping. But yeah, that's easier said than done. I mean, if you've got your rhythm and if you got your pace and you just have your chops, for all the post production of the episodes, that's one thing. But we're infantile. We're not even neonatal. I mean, we still can slide under the radar of any abortion ban in the country.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
um, we're getting our stuff together.
yeah. Well, and we, like Levi said, we've got probably 5 episodes in the making that we haven't been able to put out yet,
Yeah.
that have been filmed, and that was the plan. So in a few weeks or a few days, you might see my beard get a little shorter, and then after a couple weeks, you'll be like, "Hey, you trimmed his beard," and then it's gonna be like right back down. Um, so yeah, so we tried, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what our show's about, though. Is trying to be creative and keep stuff going while we're living our life and working our day jobs and being married and having kids and stuff
Having
like
our
that.
soul sucked out of us as we go.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, no. So unfortunately, yeah, sometimes we're just not gonna be there.
Tell you what, if that sub count goes up, the view count goes up, you people keep supporting us the way you have been, and then we will be able to kiss all that bullshit goodbye and give you this content on a daily basis of a higher quality. It all rests on your lap. I'm here to guilt you into getting us to where you want us to be.
Don't forget, it's all the viewers' fault. It's all your fault. If we don't put an episode out, it's your fault. Don't
Yeah,
blame us.
don't make us withhold content from you.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You've already that's what we just did. You've
Yeah.
already seen where that leads.
You want a new episode? Hit subscribe, motherfucker.
I don't know if I mentioned before, but the number one, like, as far as things that point people to us right now is Steve from Blues Clues at San Diego Comic-Con. That is, as far as, like, in cards or whatever.
Uh-huh.
There's a video of him, Steve from Blues Clues at San Diego, and it's like that gets people to our stuff more than anything else right now.
Okay. I'll take it.
I'm not mad at Steve at all.
Dude, Steve's he's the one that like did an album with Steve Droz from the Flaming Lips, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and I mean, hey, that's cool. Like, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
so we got the blues, like the people that grew up with Blues Clues are like finding us.
Yeah. Or all the people that take acid and listen to his music now. Whichever one, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, man.
What's he talking about his beard? It's always growing. It's always everywhere. It's always changing different colors and stuff. Is this a new thing?
It's too bad you already did your page for Small Press Heroes or whatever the thing is we're doing. You could
Oh,
have,
the jam.
yeah, you could have made it about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm so glad because I'm so late to that whole thing. I'm so glad that you did what you did.
Yeah.
Because my page is going to be a lot of black ink because
I tried.
I don't have enough time to do this.
So yeah. So for people that don't know, we're doing a jam comic on a Facebook group called Small Press Heroes, and I just did mine, and And Levi, I didn't know. I knew Levi was doing one. I didn't know he was doing the one right after mine. And when they posted mine, well, technically mine hasn't gone live yet, but when they posted it to the group or whatever, they were like, Levi's up next, and I was gonna make the last panel, and I really was gonna do this. I made the joke, but I was almost did this in the comic where I have stuff coming out of a portal, and I was gonna go, oh my god, it's 100 horses driving 100 cars.
And thank God you
Because
didn't
I just wanted to see you try and get the fuck out of that. Like,
and
how am I going to get out of drawing this shit?
but okay, so since no one's gonna see this before I post that, I'm gonna say it now. Because the way you left it, my whole page is whatever's inside the portal looking out
Yeah.
from their perspective. So it's a little black ink and maybe
that'd be cool.
highlight upside of heads.
Yeah.
Maybe the portal and a bunch of eyes.
Yeah.
But I am late to the party on this, and I have very little time to do it. So I'm taking the cheap way out.
All right.
All because you set me up for it.
Well, good. Well, speaking of a little time, we're almost out of time, dude.
Yeah.
So
You want to tell us what we're supposed to do?
make the damn thing.
See ya.
Later.